couldn't believe I heard something. I couldn't believe I heard the door opening. Am I dreaming or is this real? There is a sound of footsteps. Yes, there are footsteps. I heard it. I was afraid to move my hand or speak or say anything. Suddenly, a light hit my eye. Couldn't open it. And when I started to see with difficulty around me, I didn't know where I was and what this place was. I didn't know what I was doing and how many days I had been here. Everything froze when I saw it in front of me. I felt that my heart was going to leave its place. How can a person be this tall? How can there be a person of this size? I found myself in another place. I was sleeping in a bed, a hospital bed, but my hands and legs were tied. I couldn't move, and there was a solution connected to my body. How did I get here? And all that was left was what? A reality or a nightmare? Was I alive or was I in the dark? Good evening, Adam. What are you doing now? Why are you looking at me like that? I'm sorry. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Rihami. I'm the doctor who is following your case. My case? May I sit down? Unfortunately, Adam, you came to us in a difficult situation. The police handed you over to us and asked for a report on your case. You had a state of frozen life and you were overwhelmed more than once. We found out that you were dehydrated and had very few fluids. Yes, who brought me here? How did I get here? The police, as I told you, handed you over to us. The police? Adam, don't you remember anything from what happened to you the last few days? I don't know. I don't know if what happened to me was real or if I was dreaming. I don't know. All I can think of is the voice I heard before they took me out. Took you out? Who was that? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, Adam, I'll let them give you a sedative now. I'll come to you tomorrow morning. Try to relax and sleep. Don't think about anything. We'll talk tomorrow. Please wait for me. Yes. Do you need anything? What hospital am I in? You're in Al-Mamura Psychiatric Hospital. Al-Mamura Hospital? A mental hospital? As I told you, Adam, try to relax and sleep. Don't think about anything. Don't worry. Your condition is temporary. It'll be over in a few days. I don't know why the last sentence she said scared me more. I'm going crazy and I don't understand anything. Peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah be upon you. I'm Olivert James and this is Narrator. A new episode, inspired by real events. The story was written and edited by Olivert James. I thank her very much. Let's see what Adam's story is about. How did he get into the hospital? Why did they take him to the hospital? What was the cause of his illness? Before we get into the events of the story, we have to clarify that this story is for adults only. There are some harsh sentences that children can't hear, but we have to clarify it. The second thing is that this story is a bit difficult. There are some scenes that won't be easy to hear. Let's get into the events of the story. There are a lot of things we need to know. Let's go. I woke up the next day and I feel better. I try to remember what happened to me the last few days. I feel like something fell from me. I try to focus, but it's hard. I can't differentiate between the things that happened for real and the things that didn't. My brain can't differentiate. Everything I saw and heard can't be real. It's impossible. Good morning, Adam. What are you doing today? Good morning. Are you ready to talk? I don't know. You look worried. I'm not worried, but what? Tell me, doctor. It's my job. There's nothing to be afraid of. No, it's not like that. I just can't decide what happened for real and what didn't. Let's make a deal. You tell me everything you think. I'll tell you what's real and what's not. Really? It's my job, Adam. I may look young, but I've been working for more than 6 years. I've been through a lot. Trust me. How did you know my name? Your name is in the list of names. You have your personal connections. You'll get them while you're at it. But that depends on the medical report I'm going to write about you, because the clothes you were wearing were strange and Incomprehensible. Can you explain to me what that means? I don't have a lot of information. All I can tell you is that you were locked up in an apartment. When the police arrived, you were in a state of shock. No one was able to get any information from you. Then they arrested you for the second time. That's why you were transferred to us for an autopsy, a report, an autopsy, and any other information you can think of. I've been here for a few days. A few days? No, you were only here for a day. You got here around 4 p.m. yesterday. And when the autopsy was done, it turned out that you had severe dryness. Immediately, you were put on a ventilator to compensate for the fluid loss in your body. By the way, I'm supposed to be the one asking and you're supposed to be the one answering, not the other way around. What's the last thing you remember? I was gonna see a girl. I had just met her. Her name is Hala and she was really beautiful. I went to her house after she sent me a location. When I got there, she was wearing a long black dress. The dress was drawn on her body. Her hair was black and it reached her shoulders. She was naked. She smelled really good, and her hair smelled nice too. She told me that she had prepared dinner. We sat next to each other in front of the TV to watch a movie. It was a romantic movie. She was really focused on the events, but I was focused on her. I was imagining what I was going to do with her, and I knew she wouldn't refuse. She was the one who suggested that I rent her the house, and she wanted me as much as I wanted her. So, Adam, are you used to going to the girl's house? I mean, not really. No, really? Did you do that a lot? A lot? Not a lot. I just like to change. All the girls seem to fall in love with you. I'm sure no one could refuse you. No, of course. It happened, but not a lot. That's unbelievable. Some girls refused you. I can't believe it. Tell me about them. A few months ago, I was with a girl that I thought she was open-minded and normal. She lived alone, and that's my favorite type, but she told me it was a shame. Adam, stop it. I can't do that. I can't go to your house. You can't come to me. I live alone and you live alone. What's stopping you? For my sake? Adam, stop it. I'm telling you, Adam. Ahmed, stop it. You don't love me and you don't trust me. I trust you and I love you. But what you're asking for is too much. I can't do that. Listen to me. If you want us to be together, listen to me. If you want to send me pictures, don't let me come to your house. If you're afraid, come to my house. Do you like these cafes? I just want to be with you. I can't do that. Never. Let's get married and live together, but without marriage, it won't work. What won't work? I'm gonna kill you. Don't be stubborn. Adam, please. Don't be upset because of me. I can't do it and I can't make you upset. I'm telling you. You'll listen to me and we'll continue. You won't listen to me and go away from me. Go away? Why are you talking to me like that? What are you saying? What were you thinking? I'm telling you, consider that we're over. Don't try to talk to me only in one case. You have to be loyal, Tom, and agree with what I asked of you. You're so stubborn, stupid. Why? Because I rejected you? Of course not. Because you made a stupid impression on me. I'm going to commit suicide. Come with me. I was surprised and delighted. This is my favorite food. With the pasta, there was a strange sweet and sour sauce on it. These are exactly the things I can't resist. I ate as if I hadn't tasted food for a year. I drank the juice. Mango juice. She told me she made it herself. Everything was sweet, just like her. The food, the juice, and the general atmosphere, but she was dangerous, honestly. Everything about her made me feel that she wanted me as much as I wanted her. I felt her calling me. I got closer to her while we were sitting and put my hand around her shoulder and brought her closer to me. She put her head on my shoulder as if I felt it. But suddenly, I didn't feel anything. I didn't know if I was asleep or asleep. When I woke up, I didn't know where I was. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know if I was alive or dead. I didn't know if I was in a house or a grave. What does this mean, Adam? I don't know, doctor. I woke up to blackness. Blackness everywhere around me. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know how I got to this place. I thought I was dead and buried, but when I moved my hand, I found myself moving, not wrapped in a shroud like the dead. I was standing in a place of fear, but I froze. I couldn't move a step in my place. What was I supposed to do? My mind was telling me that there was something around me that was going to hurt me. I tried to calm down. I wanted to hear anything. Maybe I understood where I was. I didn't understand. There was no light or sound around me. There was only the sound of my breath. Little by little, I started to hear my heartbeat. That I didn't know if I was really hearing my heart beating or my brain, or maybe something around me was making that sound. I wanted to move, but I couldn't. I was really scared. It was the first time I was so scared. I was afraid to move. My leg hurt and I hesitated. Toss it down. I told myself that I was sleeping. There was definitely nothing in the place where I was sleeping. I started to feel my body and my hand. Maybe I could feel anything. My hand hit something and I got scared. I was falling from the line, but I was scared. I didn't know how I held myself without a leash and I didn't fall. I kept thinking about the thing that hit my hand and I felt like it was a glass. Something told me it was a glass and something else told me that it might hurt me, but I couldn't take it anymore. My leg couldn't take it anymore. I felt like my leg was being cut off. I tried again to feel what was around me, and the second time my hand hit the same thing, but this time I wasn't scared. This time I was sure it was a glass. When I held it, it was a glass, but it wasn't one. No, it was two. Two next to each other. I tried to feel something else, but there was nothing. I sat down and waited for something to happen. But nothing happened. I asked myself why I was trapped here, and who brought me here, and how I got here. When will I get out? What do they want from me? What? I started to feel thirsty and my lung was dry. I wanted to drink. I drank a glass of water and my lung was dry. I kept drinking and I was thirsty. I wanted to drink, but no one answered me. There was nothing and no one appeared in front of me. My leg was paralyzed because I had been sitting for a long time in the same way. I tried to move it and then I hit something. I was shocked and I touched my leg again. I put my hand on my heart and tried to calm down. When I gave up, I remembered the glass next to me. I extended my hand to hold one off them. When my hand touched the glass, I asked myself, will you drink? What do you know about this glass? Maybe it contains poison or a disaster. Maybe if you drink, you will die. The one who brought you here must want you to die. Why did he bring you here? I started to resist my thirst and my hunger for a long time. I don't know how long, until I finally decided to give up. I will drink and whatever happens, happens. Even if there was poison water inside, at least I will die from the poison and not from thirst. I had hope when I opened the glass that I would hear the plastic sound of the cover. I remembered that this was the first time the glass was opened. But I didn't hear anything. I held the glass and brought it closer to smell it. I didn't know what to smell. Was it water or something else? My mind couldn't translate. It was as if my senses were not working. I put the glass on my mouth and took a small sip. I don't know if this was the real taste of water or not. I felt like I forgot the taste of water, but I was thirsty, very thirsty. I couldn't control myself and I drank. I drank a lot until I felt that the glass was floating in my hand. So I closed it and held it. I don't know what I was thinking about, but I started to feel that there were things moving next to me. Someone was passing by, and suddenly I felt a breath behind me. Hot air, as if someone was sitting behind me and breathing. Then I started to hear voices coming from far away. A lot of people were talking, but I didn't know what they were saying. I started to turn my mind to see or know the source of the sound, but every time I turned my mind, it was completely silent. It was completely silent. Was there really someone talking, and was there really voices? Or was it all in my mind? Was my mind playing with me? What time is it now? Is it morning or night? I tried to sleep, but I couldn't. When I fell asleep, I woke up to terrible nightmares where I see myself running in a dark place, and there are things running behind me that I can't see, but I feel them. I run, and I don't know where to go. Suddenly, something holds my leg, and I wake up before I see what's running behind me. But sometimes I woke up, and I still felt something holding my leg. I don't know how to move it. I kept screaming, and I tried to move, but I couldn't. I'm just hurting because of my leg. I want to move, but I don't know how. Even if I moved, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to look. I can't see anything. I can't even see my hand. Suddenly, I didn't feel what was holding me leg. Is there anyone in the room? Is there something I can't see? I don't know how long it's been, but I feel like I need to go to the bathroom. I don't remember when was the last time I went to the bathroom. I was trying to forget this feeling, but I couldn't. I couldn't bear it. I couldn't force myself. I remember when I felt I couldn't hold myself any longer. I felt humiliated. I felt ashamed of myself and what happened to me. Who does this tome? What will I gain from it? Who locked me in this scene? What do they want from me? I started screaming again. I said, if you want money, I'll give it to you. If you want anything, I'll give it to you. But get me out of here, let me go. I swear I won't do anything. I swear I won't tell anyone anything. Get me out of here. Who are you? Why did you lock me up? How long will you keep me here? I kept screaming. Suddenly, I heard a loud scream that I don't know if these people are suffering or someone is in pain. The scream was repeating. I was terrified that I asked, there anyone else in this place? What if there is? What's making me scream like this? When will my turn come? I was waiting for the sound to stop, waiting to hear a door open or footsteps approaching, waiting to know what will happen to me. Will I be tortured? Will I be beaten? What will happen to me? Am I in prison? Am I kidnapped by a gang? What's happening outside? At that time, the fear made me unable to control myself again. I felt like I was dying of the feeling of humiliation and humiliation. I couldn't stand my smell or the smell of the whole place. My mind convinced me that I couldn't control myself again. I was like a child again. If I get out of here, will I stay like this? How will I live and how will I deal with people if I stay like this? Will I get out of here or will I die in my place? The scream continued for a long time. I don't know how many hours. I don't know how many days. The scream made me put my hand on my ear and I couldn't or don't want to hear it. I can't. I really can't. Calm down, Adam. You're safe now and you're not in this place anymore. Don't worry. No one can do anything to you here. 1 second, I'll give you a sedative and you'll be fine. Try to calm down so we can continue our conversation tomorrow. Good morning, Adam. How are you doing today? Thank God, I'm fine. You look fine. When are you going to take these things off my hands and feet? Congratulations, Adam. We're close. It's only a few days and everything will be over. I don't know why my heart sank again when I heard this sentence. This is the second time I hear it and every time I get the same feeling. Every time my heart sinks and I'm scared. Shall we continue what we were saying yesterday? You said that you couldn't or don't want to hear the scream. What happened after that? The scream was scary. I put my hand on my ear to prevent myself from hearing it. But the scream was still loud. I was afraid of the silence, but the scream made me want to hear it again. I really can't. I feel like my brain is going to explode. I can't hear anything. I fell asleep. When I woke up, I found my hand on my ear and I was sleeping on the floor. I stood up and I felt like I hit something with my foot. I quickly put my foot together and sat down. I felt like something was coming from any direction. And this thing was going to hurt me. But I didn't know where it was coming from or how it was going to hurt me. I felt thirsty and I had to drink. I was determined not to drink. But I couldn't. I put my hand next to me and I couldn't find the glass. I couldn't find anything. Someone took it while I was sleeping and I didn't feel anything. I put my hand on the floor and started to knock. But I couldn't hear my hand knocking on the floor looking for the glass because of the screaming that was still going on. It was a long time and I only heard the scream. It was a long time and I only heard the scream. Maybe longer than the days when I didn't hear any sound. I kept sitting in my place and I felt like I was waiting for death. If I die now, I won't be sad. Death is worse than what I'm in now. Death is worse than the unknown that is around me in all directions. I feel like what is waiting for me is much worse than death. At least if I die, I won't feel pain or fear. Death is better for me. Suddenly, the scream stopped. I felt like something was working in my brain and it closed. My ear was ringing with the sound of the scream as it is. But it started to calm down one by one until it stopped completely and I felt that it was far away. When I came back, I put my hand on the floor again. Maybe I reached the glass. I finally reached it, but I found it empty. I don't know when I finished drinking it all or someone emptied it. I threw the glass and heard its sound. A strange sound, I don't know what it is. Is it wood, iron or glass? The glass was plastic. I knew it when I touched it, but I couldn't figure out what was that sound. At that time, my worst nightmare started to come true. My stomach hurts. My stomach hurts. My stomach hurts, and this has only one meaning, but no, it won't work. It won't work. Suddenly, everything got out of control and I felt like I was dying. I want to die. I won't be able to live after what happened to me. At that time, if I found anything I could kill myself with, I would have killed myself. I wish I had a knife or scissors. I would have cut my veins, and I would have been relieved of the pain and humiliation I was in. But what is this? Above all, I also became aware of myself. And I think if I die now, what will happen to me? Will my body be able to handle this situation? What would people say if they saw me? My body was tired, and I don't know how long I've been here. I don't sleep for minutes, and I wake up exhausted every time. After the screams stopped, my body started to calm down and enter a strange state of sleep. I slept. I don't know if I slept a lot or not, but I woke up to a disturbing sound. It sounded like a mosquito or a fly. Something was buzzing around me. I didn't see or feel anything, but I heard the sound. I moved my hand in the air to get away from it, but the sound continued. And I was dreaming. I really heard this sound. Where is it coming from, and why doesn't it go away? I kept hearing this disturbing buzzing sound a lot, and I couldn't sleep or do anything. I was used to acting like a child when I was in my place. I wasn't affected anymore. I couldn't control my body or myself. I gave up the idea of dying in my place. It didn't matter. Whatever happens, happens. After a few hours or maybe a few days, the sound stopped. Silence. Silence. I didn't hear anything. I started screaming and cursing. Why are you doing this to me, you son of a bitch? Get me out of here. Get me out. I'm gonna kill you all. I'm going to kill you, you son of a bitch. I kept screaming until my voice went away. I couldn't scream or scream anymore. I kept quiet, and I said, that's it. There's no hope. I'm waiting for death. I know it's coming. I haven't eaten or drunk for a long time, so death is a matter of time. There's no need to resist or scream. I'm gonna sit and wait. After a long wait, I heard a voice. Is this for real, or just my imagination? No, I really heard a voice. The voice of footsteps. The voice of a door opening. Is this my imagination or real? Is there anyone else here? But I was afraid to move. I felt numb and afraid to move my hand or speak or say anything. The light hit my eye. I couldn't open it well. But after a few seconds, I started to see around me. A room that looked very strange. There was nothing in it. Not even a window. There was a glass of water full that had fallen next to me, and another glass far away. Where am I and what is this place? What am I doing here and how many days have I been here? At that time, my heart was about to come out of my chest. There's someone in front of me. But no, this can't be a person. This is a very tall person. Someone I can't see his face because of how tall he is. He stood in front of the door and I couldn't bear the fear of what would happen. And I don't know what happened after that. So you were kidnapped? I don't know. Well, who do you think did this to you? Did you say you were with your daughter before you went to this strange place? Yes, I did. But why would you do this to her? Here, she's been missing for 2 weeks. Maybe she wanted to steal you, for example. And if she wanted to steal me, why would she lock me up in this place? I don't have an explanation. But all I can tell you is that I'm going to write my report and make sure that the situation you were in is the result of self-pressure from the situation. And I'm sure he'll ask you to go and continue the interview in the police department to start looking at what he did to you and take his punishment. You mean I don't have anything? No, Adam, you're very good. And the things I used to see and hear, most of them are visual and auditory hallucinations as a result of psychological pressure and isolation. It's true, Adam. How many days have you been in this place? I don't know, but I'm sure it's no less than 10 or 12 days. How many days is it today? Today is February 20th. Why? I was with my daughter at her house on Valentine's Day, February 14th. So you've been there for 6 days? No, Adam, only 4. Because the man who found you reported on the same day. It was the 18th day, and you were registered at our hospital on the same day. And this is your 3rd day here. Only 4 days? How? It's not possible. I felt like I spent a lot of time there. What happened to you, Adam, is a kind of psychological torture. And this kind, unfortunately, makes the mind and senses lose their ability to deal correctly with changes. I mean, you can't think logically, and that's why you weren't able to determine the number of days. Especially since you spent all your time in the dark, as you said. You have to follow a psychological doctor after all this is over. And why would anyone do that to me? Honestly, I don't know. But there must be a reason. The doctor wrote the report and I was transferred to another police department to ask me about the details of what happened. Unfortunately, all the information I had did not lead them to anything. And the only evidence I could rely on to get to what happened to me was completely erased. Everything between me and Hala was gone. I was sure that she did this to me, or at least she was in cahoots with someone. But unfortunately, everything was erased. Messages, calls, everything, even the account itself disappeared. The address they sent me was no longer there, not even registered on the maps. I left the police department and went home. I wanted to change the clothes I was wearing, not my clothes. These are the clothes I took from the hospital after they cleaned my body after I arrived. And of course, this is for the doctors to accept and deal with my condition. And they gave me these clothes to wear instead of my clothes. The first thing I did was to take a shower. I sat in the water and soap trying to relax. But I could still hear the scream in my ear as if it was inside my house. I got up and I was convinced that I would find the source of the sound. I looked around and I didn't find anything. I went to my bed and slept deeply. A sleep I haven't slept for years. I dreamed of Dr. Riem. I dreamed of her and she was with me, holding my hand, laughing and getting closer to me. A beautiful dream, finally. Instead of the nightmare that I felt was going to kill me, I had to go to her again, at least to thank her. I also asked her to follow my case as she advised me. She treated me and got closer to me. I might find a connection with her. It was obvious that she liked me. A few days later, I got a call from the officer I talked to for the interview. He asked me if I was sure of the address where the girl I was with lived. Because this address doesn't belong to anyone. This apartment has been closed for more than 10 years and its owners are traveling. That's why the interview was kept and it won't be continued. I was upset and I couldn't believe that my right was lost. I decided to look for it myself and the first step was easy. I'll go to her house and ask her. I'm sure I'll know something. I went to her apartment and I hid a lot. But I noticed that there was a name written on the door. I'm sure it wasn't there before. A big lady from the neighborhood opened the door of her apartment and told me the same words the officer said. The apartment has been closed for years and its owners are traveling. I don't know who to talk to. Who should I tell? I didn't think of Dr. Riem. She's the only one who knows everything and the only one I can talk to. I went to the hospital and asked her about the reception. The officer told me that she was still on her way. I hurried to follow her. Before I got to her, I saw her. I saw her waving at her. It's her, Hala. Yes, she looks a little different, but it's her. How and why? My whole body froze in its place. Before I could move her car for a second, I ran to the car, got on it and followed her. She went to an old-looking house near the hospital. She opened the door and closed the other door behind her. She had the same girl in the car, and they seemed to know each other well. How did she know her? Did Riem do this to me? Why would she do this to me? How does she know me? Could it be just a coincidence? Could it be? At that moment, I remembered that when I was with Hala at her house, I felt like I was losing consciousness. I was telling her that I was dizzy, and she said to me, "Don't worry, it's just a few days and everything will be fine." The same sentence I heard from Riem. I sat in the car until I saw Hala leaving the house. There was a car waiting for her. I couldn't follow her because I was on the opposite side of the road. So I stayed in my place. I waited until morning, until I saw her. My brain didn't stop thinking for a second about all the possibilities. I couldn't explain what I saw. I realized that when Riem got out of the car, there was a woman sitting next to her. She didn't look strange to me, but I didn't know where I saw her. I got out of my car and went to the door. I stood in front of him. "I'm the driver, Adam Jackson. Is Dr. Riem here?" "No, my dear Saad. Hala is still out. Would you like me to talk to her?" "No, uncle." "What's your name?" "I thought you were Shahja." "I'm Shahja. Don't talk to her. I'm here for you." "Why? What did I do?" "I didn't do anything. I'm a man of God. Don't worry, Shahja. I'm here to give you information about the doctor. She has a big job. We need to do a full investigation." "Really? The doctor will be happy." "No, Shahja. This is a secret investigation. I just told you to make sure you'll help us. But you can't tell the doctor. It's up to you, Saad. I'm under your command. What do you know about the doctor? The doctor is a respectable, generous woman. She's from a noble family. She came here because her sister was sick and she was hospitalized. She wanted to kill herself. But the truth is, when she talked to the doctor came to me the same day. She sat next to her sister. She didn't move until God blew into her face. It's been 4 full days of life and death. The doctor didn't stop crying for her. Her sister? What's her name? Regia. Her younger sister. She's a good, generous woman. People are not ashamed to pass in front of her. I don't know what made her do this. When did this happen? It happened about a month ago. I don't remember exactly when. I walked out the door, got in my car, and went home. I was thinking, how did they do this to me? How did they laugh at me like this? I have to take revenge. I'm gonna take my revenge. I'm gonna take back the humiliation they did to me. I thought a lot. I thought for a day, 2, a week. But I didn't get anywhere. But I decided that before anything, I have to face it. I have to look her in the eye and tell her I know everything. I know she did this, and I'm not going to leave her or her sister. I got in my car and went to her house. I stood in front of the door. I tried to look inside, but I saw someone staring at me, asking me who I am and what I do. I didn't answer his questions. I told him I was coming to my Uncle Shawky. He told me he was traveling abroad, and after the villa was sold, he asked me about the people who sold the villa and where they went. But he didn't know anything. She was trying to run away from me, the daughter of a dog. She looked like a madman at the hospital. No, she's not gonna run away from me. And when I asked her, I knew she had a few days left before she left. So I asked the receptionist, is she one of the cases that were followed by the doctor? Yes, and I need to see her. Unfortunately, she resigned a few days ago. What's your name? Adam. My name is Adam. Ahmed Ashraf? Yes. Don't say that. The doctor left you something the last day you came to the hospital. Just a second. The receptionist brought me a closed case. I took it and went to my car. I couldn't see in front of me. I tried to calm down so I could read it and see what was hiding inside. I think now you know everything. Or don't you know yet? Anyway, let me explain. The stupid opinion you used to play with and took advantage of her stupidity to get to her body became my little sister. My sister who loved you madly. She didn't talk about anything but you. She thought you really loved her and wanted to marry her. And when you chose her to give herself to you or stay away from her, she didn't believe you. Until the last moment, she thought you would come back to her. But when she found out that you had forgotten her and went to the new victim, she tried to commit suicide. She committed suicide by taking a sedative. And 4 days passed between life and death. For days felt like 4 years to me. Raya was broken, and her heart was broken. And you were living a normal life, and you didn't even think about coming to see her alive or dead. When she left, she asked you. And I told her that you refused to listen to her friends who told you what happened to her. She was crying. You held her hand and promised her that she would take revenge on you. I will give you back what you did to her in the worst way suitable for you. I will play with you like I played with her. I will torture you, humiliate you like I did to her. I knew that you were a weak animal in front of your instincts. And that's why the first time I talked to you about a piece of meat, you would run to me. I easily made a woman who was worth 3 pounds laugh at you. And the apartment you met her in was owned by people I didn't know. I borrowed it from them for a few hours. And when I threatened you and fell like a sheep, I got the one who helped me to transfer you to the beautiful place where you were a guest for 4 days. A day in the middle of every day my sister was in between life and death. Did you see how good my heart was? I didn't want to leave you to suffer a lot. As for the place you were in, I was really tired to get there. You understand, of course. This was a place with special specifications. I rented it from the bottom without anyone knowing me. I was covered in my face. And honestly, money does magic. And everything was going better than I planned. I told my sister that there was a strange sound in the apartment and that I left her and went to go and get you out. Fortunately, you were in a state of shock. They brought you to Al Mamura. I had been working there for a long time, And when I came back a few months ago, I took a vacation and went to work as usual. I didn't know that luck would serve me so well and that it would come to me. I was the one who asked to take your case. And I was recording every word you said so that my sister would see and hear that her right was back. And also so that if you thought of telling me in any way, I would share it with you. Yes, that's right. There is something very important that I want to tell you. Raya and I are no longer in California or in all of United States of America. We traveled by. So if you go to report to us, he won't have any obligation. And you don't have any proof of anything. There is no one who can testify with you. And there is no proof that I did anything to you. And even this paper is not evidence. It is originally printed on a piece of paper, not handwritten. And it doesn't have any fingerprints on it. And the case doesn't have any fingerprints on it. So don't tire yourself. One last thing. Don't think of looking for us. And don't repeat what you did to my sister with someone else. Because next time I won't guarantee that her family will be nice to you like I was nice to you. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that I really enjoyed our little experience. And of course, this experience will benefit me a lot in my PhD. Thank you, Adam. You were an excellent experimenter.